Guys, welcome back. So we promised you a few weeks ago we'd give you an update on the status of the development of the Planemate.
Yeah.
Sort of updates in our swing and specifically yours, Matty. And you've had a little bit of a chance to use it more.
For sure. Yep. Been tinkering around with it.
Yep. Today's a good day to test it. And when you suggested we done this one today, I kind of like it because you're swinging really well today. You've made some nice adjustments to your swing. It's quite interesting. You know, certain people have a hard time changing things in their swing. You don't have a hard time changing things pretty fast.
It's almost too much the other way.
It can be a gift and a curse, can't it? You know, if you can change your swing, it can be hard to keep it there.
It's true.
It's like use the sort of comparison of a forged iron. Nice to have a forged iron that you can bend, but the downside is that it can move and you can have the troubles of having it stay at the spec you want it.
That's true.
You know, a cast club, once you get it, there's less likely to move. But
that's a good one,
you know, in terms of your swing, you know, you're very able to shift things around a little bit. So, you know, we've been doing a lot of testing on irons and drivers today. I don't think I've ever seen your path so neutral.
Definitely not. Yeah, by far the closest to 1 and 0 that I've ever been, which I'm happy just to get my start line back manageable.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily care if I'm going to be able to shape the ball both ways. That's, I think, further down the road. But just that, 9-10 degrees that 2 weeks ago we had. It was just a tough kind of day and tough on the golf course. So getting that back in line is where I think I want to be. And then that conversation, when I texted you about doing Planemate this week, I'm thinking now the way I feel coming through impact has changed, because the club is not so in to out. And I know, and you can see from any swing you've ever seen of mine down the line, I really chase my arms too far towards the target.
Yeah.
They don't move low and for me right or low and left.
Keep that connection as you rotate.
And that, I think, I don't think anyone would disagree. That's kind of a hallmark of a good ball striker. They all move their hands low and left through impact.
I mean, it's interesting you should say that. You know, it's something, you know, you see in real good players, that low exit point, the hand path.
Yeah, hand path.
The radius of the hand path is a lot a lot more neutral, smaller than people who sort of tend to chase the hand path. You know, as a lefty, yours would continue to work away from you and out. So that radius is more consistent.
And the separation between, and I think the lightning bolt for me, and it's actually Martin Chuck's latest Tourstriker video that he put out, I think it was about drivers. Right. Saying the confusion with a lot of people is hand path versus club path.
Sure, big confusion.
Oh, 100%. And I'm always trying to make my path change. I used to be too out in, so I tried to hit a draw. Yeah. I'm trying to make my club path go out, but I made my hand path go out. Right. Really, the hand path should stay around your body while the club moves out.
Exactly.
So that, for me, I was like, oh, wow, that's actually really interesting. And that demonstration led me to think, okay, I think that's the most valuable thing I can get out of the Planemate for right now. Yep. In terms of my swing. And I think that's what I want to work on today, is just to see if I can get the exit of the swing a little bit more low right for me. Will that match up nicer with the path being a bit more neutral and get the release a little more consistent? For
sure. And when we were testing earlier on, you know, if there was one thing that showed up that was a bit of a byproduct of this new kind of more neutral club path, was a little bit of an open face.
Yes.
So your path being more into out has sort of almost made it essential that you release the golf club quite significantly.
Hands oriented too.
Yeah,
right?
so you have a little bit more of a sort of an active club face. It rotates a little bit too much. Yep. But now that the path is so neutral, your hands are definitely more passive. The club face is more passive. But the odd shot is your miss today has been more to the left, hasn't it?
Which is different. It's very different.
So if your body isn't accelerating enough and getting open enough, you know, you're going to be leaking shots out to the 100%. Left. So hopefully today, what we're going to look at from a few different angles, which I think will be interesting, just to see how the body reacts to that. Does it cause the body to drive, you know, a little more quickly? Are you changing your rates so your hands can be more passive, so the body will take the burden of the rotation rather than having to be flippy with it? So those sorts of things, I'm very curious as to how they all kind of match up together. Okay, why don't we get some baseline swings under your
so
belt?
I'm going to make a few normal swings with the 9-iron. We'll strap the belt on. We'll do sort of the drill swings, we'll call them. And then I just kind of want to see, Obviously, you need to work on it for some time. So this isn't the fair. It's not meant to be a cause and effect.
Sure.
I just want to see how the feel of those drills kind of translates into sort of the after portion of it.
Yeah.
All right,
let's hit a few.
Let's get a couple in. Okay.
Okay, pal. Nice little sample size there. So 4 really nice, well, 9 irons, all very similar speed, delivery, launch, spin, everything about it. Let's go to compare page. So path a little bit from the inside, face a little bit open. So exactly like we described it.
Yes.
I mean, those ones were exactly what we saw today. So really curious as to whether we can, we can get that squared up a little bit.
I think that'll be the thing to watch for sure after we do a few reps.
One of the things I'm looking for is also what generally happens with kind of this type of a swing is we tend to lower the vertical swing plane, which in obviously GC quad will show up as the dynamic lie angle.
Yep.
And if we can see the swing a little bit more rotary in the way through.
Should see more of this motion where the hands come low and the body turns this way.
And that's a good, the down the line image. I'm glad we've got the camera for that today.
Yeah.
So do that one more time. So what you see from the best players is the hand path disappears around the right hip.
Yep.
And the sweet spot still traveling actually slightly, if anything, slightly left. Versus certainly traveling more on the target line.
Yeah, versus
as the hands have disappeared. Yeah.
I'm more this way right now.
Exactly.
And that's why this cable will basically tangle you.
That's it.
When the hands follow the path too much. If you separate the two, there's obviously quite a large space between them.
Perfect.
So that's
exactly right.
That'll be the drill. So we'll do a few drills and then basically see if I can carry that feel into some full swings.
So let's bring because we're not attempting to hit it that far.
No, I can probably hit it 110 yards at the most.
Okay, let's kind of shoot for some nice little chippy 100-yarders.
Okay. You really immediately feel how passive your hands get with this. All you feel is hips kind of.
So already we are seeing change in that dynamic lie angle. That was 2 degrees toe up.
Oh, really? So the hands got that much lower?
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. 2.7 up.
Angle attack? Oh, no,
no, the toe. Really interesting, that is.
Such a different exit, that, isn't it?
It feels like I'm here, almost in fall through. It's very different. Yeah, that's completely different, isn't it? That looks like it's under my rib.
Yeah.
I'll have to overlay those after, but because normally my exit is kind of here, I think, and my hands come out near my shoulder. You really should see them come out about here. That felt like a pretty good rep. Interesting. I think I did a better job of rotating on that one. Maybe
I would say that probably to me looked like the best one. Now, we should probably do a couple, take away the down the line camera. Good to get obviously some. I wouldn't mind seeing you try to hit a few more online, because right now you're.
I don't want to hit that camera.
Smash an iPhone.
Good point. Okay. You know what else I feel is more of this.
More left side bend.
Side bend, which I don't ever have. I'm assuming that's just a byproduct of rotating versus kind of.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I mean, when you're not sort of standing up on it as much and using the as much vertical force, it should be a lot easier for you to stay in that position.
I would imagine sort of the momentum of where your hand path goes changes that as well. Like if I'm pulling my body essentially that way, you're going to pull yourself out of your posture.
Yeah, you're just, everything you're doing there is just rotating so much better. The club is moving more down. That's a slightly more out to in that last one, which I don't mind seeing.
Especially as a drill. No, it's good, right? It's good. That felt good.
So do one where you're going to hit it about 60 yards. Really exaggerate it.
6-0?
Yeah.
And lower in the exit.
Yeah. Really get that hand path disappearing right. So there's that position that you're talking about.
Yeah, that's different, isn't it? Huh. Completely different sort of plane of the arms on the way out.
Good, isn't it?
That's part of the reason I kind of suck at pitching the ball, to be honest. Because really good pitchers are kind of low here, sweet spot towards the target. That's good too. So I definitely noticed that as this makes me rotate, those face numbers have gotten better.
Your strike is more neutral as well, more central.
Yep.
These are really useful little shots for you. I mean, how many times are you going to have 100 to 130 yards into a green where you've mashed a drive, and if you can build a little repertoire of little wedge shots like this, very neutral face, neutral path, that could be so effective for you for your scoring.
I think that's what makes them difficult for me now, is that I'm not passive with the face. It's all flip in time.
Agreed.
So I can't, remember I always say to you, I can't hit a partial shot?
Yeah.
I think that's probably why. Because there is no ability to just have the same face at all speeds.
Definitely.
All right, let's see kind of progress we can carry through.
Okay, so trying to kind of take those feels, do you feel like they're still in the motion?
Yeah, your arms kind of have now I will say you're supposed to do at least 30. So I didn't do that. We probably did about 15.
Yeah.
But that being said, you get the kind of sort of ghost arms pulling you right. Like you feel a little bit more of this happening naturally.
Explain the ghost arm a little bit again.
So the ghost arms is just like, I don't know, it's almost like...
It's like a force against your arms almost.
A natural force that just sort of, you feel like it's pulling. It would be like lifting a super heavy box.
Yeah.
And then the next box weighs nothing.
Right.
It's like you don't have to put so much effort. It just sort of flows in that direction. That's kind of what I'm feeling, is the club wants to do that.
Right.
Versus that.
Okay.
So hopefully that translates.
Looks like it looks like you're building a swing that's very, very anti-right.
Anti-right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like it'd be quite difficult for you to, let the club head
do that,
go past the hands and end up hitting something that's a bit pulley.
Right.
Do me a favour, Matty. Do the exact same feel. Just keep doing your kind of swings where you're feeling this. I'm going to just move the green down and closer to you.
Okay. Just do a pitchier swing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely easier to do at a slower speed, isn't it?
Well, that's what I wanted to see, if that was the biggest variable we were really dealing with here, was the speed we were asking you to do it at, because anytime you're sort of applying vertical force or you're going to apply more force, you're going to recruit some of that vertically, which is obviously going to make that handle lift a little bit more. So yeah, that's interesting to see the difference there.
And in fairness, you're not really supposed to rush to full speed swings afterwards. It's supposed to be more of a slow motion. So, but that last one, you're right. That gets the toe back up
quite a bit,
rotating through a little better.
Yeah, back in line with where it was when you had the Planemate on.
Yep.
The biggest thing here is we can clear. I mean, you've right on cue displayed it. The biggest thing we're trying to establish is a square or club faces we can muster.
That's what I want.
I mean, look at that there. I mean, 0.2 path, 0.2 face.
Yep.
It's as good as really we can see it. I mean, you're just going to hit a ton of neutral golf shots with that.
And that's now I'm glad we did this, because now I've learned. Obviously, I would do more reps in my session.
Yep.
But when I go back to having no belt, I'll start hitting at least 30, 40 shots at that speed.
Yeah.
I need to stop.
Without going too quick.
It's a bad habit of mine, just to go right back into full speed swings. I think the full speed swings were very slightly better, but I think the process of going through it at the low speed and slowly ramping it back up, I think I'd actually see the results progress faster.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it looks a way more neutral golf swing. I have to say that. I mean, look at that there. Dynamic glide 2.8 up. And that's out of a 132-yard shot, so
yeah, that's what you add a little 10% to that, and we're almost back at full yardage.
It's good.
It's a good point. Nice.
Okay.
I got some stuff to definitely. That was really worthwhile. So now I know how I would address that kind of process. I would do the exact same drills, keep the yardage the same, $120.
Yeah.
And make a whole bunch of swings like that, and maybe just ramp it up in 5% increments or something like that.
Absolutely. I think this will be good to see how this progresses, how much you can own this going forward, because ultimately that's what these things are all about. It's getting enough reps into the point where it's automatic. It takes you through the learning phases of right now, you're kind of, everything's a bit cognitive. You're trying to kind of think about it, and you're going to try and go through the phases to the point where you're just not even really thinking about it at all.
You want it to just be part of your no think swing.
Excellent. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Let us know how you're progressing. We'll keep updating you on how sort of we're progressing with it. I've not done many reps, but Matt's kind of been doing some when you can. I know you've had a bit of travel and stuff, so it'll be good to see you the next few months. Okay, stay tuned, and we'll see you again soon.